Hello everyone, my name is Nancy Bledsoe Link and I'm a therapist here at Connections Wellness Group. Today I wanted to share a few thoughts about grief and the grief process with you and how the grief process works in therapy. I think the most important thing to remember about grief is that everyone experiences grief differently. The emotions, behaviors, the timelines associated with grief are going to be unique to each individual, and they vary with everyone's separate experiences of grief. So there's no one way that people experience this in their lives. That being said, there's no right or wrong way to grieve. There are definitely healthy and unhealthy ways to cope with grief. However, the actual feelings that you experience when you've experienced a loss are so broad in range. If you're having one that someone in your life thinks is, well, that's not the way that I felt it, and they're having a hard time with how long it's taking you to get over whatever happened. I do just want you to know that grief has no specific timeline, and the way that you're experiencing it, there's nothing wrong with that. So it's really crucial to give yourself grace, compassion, and kindness when you're going through the grief process. You have to ensure that you're allowing and making space for those big grief emotions so that you can actually move through them and you don't just get stuck in them. If you don't allow space and allow yourself to experience these, whatever your timeline and experience of grief looks like, you're likely to get stuck and overwhelmed in it, and it's like fighting something that's not going to go away. Sometimes grief, when you do this, it takes on a mind of its own and it shows up, and you're sitting at your son's soccer game and then you're bawling your eyes out and you're really not sure why. Well, it's likely that there wasn't enough space for your grief in your day-to-day, and so it chose to show up at son's soccer game. Grief has a mind of its own like that sometimes. So grief in general, we typically associate it in our society with the death of something, but I think it's really important to recognize that grief actually is simply the process that we experience as humans when we have a loss of any kind. And so sometimes that's leaving a relationship, even a relationship that wasn't good for you. You grieve over that. Sometimes it's leaving a job, even a job that was sucking the life out of you. You have to grieve the loss of that, because even if it was the best decision that you've ever made in your life, something's still changed. You've still lost something, and we as humans really do not like change at all. So regardless of what experience you've had that has caused the grief response, we work with these things fairly similarly in the grief process, and in therapy it's a lot about making space for them and allowing and figuring out what the new plan moving forward is going to be. If you have something that you're grieving that you would like some support on or some guidance with, please feel free to contact our office and make an appointment with one of our therapists. We're happy to answer any questions that you have. I'm happy to get you set up with someone who'll be the right fit for you. And we look forward to helping you on your journey. All right, take care. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.